Hey crafty peeps, Robin here with an Easter fun fold card using some of the beautiful Maymay floral paper. And it may look complicated, but it's really quite easy to put together. So we start with a card base that's folded, and this paper is cut 8.5 by 7, and we'll score it at 5 inches. This will be one part of our card. Then we have this smaller piece. This is 6 7/8 by 5. And it will be scored at 4 1/4. And I'll have all the measurements. They'll be listed over on Maymay's blog for you to check out. We also have some designer paper cut in 3 3 1/4 by 6 3/4, and then we have this smaller piece which is 4 3/4 by 4. We also have this white matting layer which is 6 1/2 by 4 1/2. So after we've cut all our pieces, we can put them together, and it only takes a little bit of effort. We'll also be using this Flourishing Hope stamp set, and I'll be using this cross and this sentiment wishing you a happy Easter. I thought that would be perfect for this card. I also use these distressed oxides in tattered rose and shaded lilac, and I'll show you how I use those later on. So we'll start by putting the card bases together to create the fun fold. So we start with our larger piece, and we're going to glue this floral paper along with the base inside of that bigger piece. So first we have to take the smaller fold, and we're going to place glue along the shorter end or the smaller end of the fold. Then we'll take our designer paper, cardstock, and we'll adhere that right until butt it right up against the fold. Careful not to go over the fold. And see, that'll go inside there, like so. Make our fun fold. But we have to add our matting layer inside. And this will be where we can stamp a sentiment or write a little short note if we like. So you need something white or light colored. So I'm putting glue, my Barely Arts glue, on that entire piece, and then I'm centering it and placing it on top of that floral paper. Beautiful paper. So after we have that together, we have one section of our fold. So now this entire piece will be glued into the larger fold as seen. And I'll place glue all along the back end of this, making sure I get glue right up into the corner. And you can be sparing with your glue. Sometimes less is more when it comes to wet glue. And we'll adhere that right in the inside of the larger fold piece. Glue that in place, and see, you can see it coming together now. So now we need a layer for the left fold, and we have our piece of DSP that we've cut, giving it a 1/4 inch border. So we adhere that with some glue, place that right on our left fold. And I love this paper. It can literally do the work for you. It's so pretty. And I love the muted colors, the pink and the gray and the white. Very pretty. So after we get that in place, now to add our final piece on the other right fold. And I decided to use the reverse side for this part. Just my personal choice. It being double-sided, you have a couple of options. So I have that covered in glue, and I'll glue that, center it on the right smaller fold. Just like so. Making sure that's down. And there we have it. There's our fun fold. So now to decorate, I decided to stamp the cross with Versamark watermark ink because I'm planning to do a little heat embossing it with it to use for my coloring. And I'm just using my stamping tool to make sure I get a good impression on the white cardstock. And what I love about the stamping and what is so perfect about the stamping tool, you can always go back and stamp your image again. So after heat embossing with black embossing powder, I'm going to use my Distress Oxide and I'm going to do a little watercoloring. So I stamped some ink right onto my work surface. And I will start with the Tattered Rose. And this is just a little spray bottle I have with some water, so I'll add a little water into the center. And I'll color my images. This is a beautiful color and it almost matches the Floral paper perfectly. And so I decided just to color some of the flowers and beautiful vines that are in this card, that are in this image. Just mixing with a little water and spreading the color out. And there's no right or wrong way. I find this to be very relaxing and something I enjoy. So after you finish, this is what my image looks like. And I used the purple. You can see the lilac where I used that. After having it colored, we will fussy cut that out. So now we have this stamp punch, and this leaf stamp punch is available in Maymay shop as well, and I've cut some leaves out of vellum. It's a workhorse. That's why I love punches. You can do so much so quickly. So what I'm doing here, I'm just shaping the leaves. I'm just folding them up to give them a little dimension for when I place them on the card. It'll give it a little height. And this is totally personal preference. You may decide to leave them as is, but I thought it would give it a little something extra. And I love using vellum in my cards. So after I had those cut, I fussy cut some flowers from the Floral paper as well. I have a little piece there. Let me cut that off. And I stamped my sentiment and cut that as well. So I adhered everything on dimensional foam tape and placed it on the card. The vellum leaves, I just tucked them inside in different places. So I'm adding my sentiment, and I have this on dimensional foam as well. And I'll add that. I was trying to decide. I think I'll add it right here. And there we have it. There's my card. It opens from the right and then left, and you can close it the same way. I put a little sentiment from the stamp set as well inside. Hope you like what I created. Let me know what you think about it. And if you decide to make it, post your pictures in Maymay's customer gallery. Thanks for watching.